Alright guys, today's video is a little different. First, I tried my hand at B-roll, which is more like an F- roll, and you'll see that in the video. But the other thing is that I wanted to talk about soldier suicide. Earlier in the month, I joined a 30-hour gaming challenge of raising funds and awareness, and obviously playing 30 hours worth of gaming for Stopsoldier They've been around for a while. I didn't know that over 60,000 American soldiers committed suicide in 2022, 350 of those being women, and a lot of them under the age of 45. I can imagine that this probably affects people worldwide, and it's not just Stop Soldier Suicide that's trying to help people. There are agencies throughout the entire country, throughout the entire world, that are definitely trying to help prevent this. Suicide in general is a loss for everyone. I've dealt with it. I'm sure a lot of other people have dealt with it in their lives with loved ones and people they've cared about, and you just never can understand why. And I guess the only person that ever will is the person that took their life. Excuse me. So we went ahead, and so instead of just gaming 30 hours, I decided I wanted to build a gaming PC and game on that for 30 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get started with that B roll, but also I'm going to be gaming at the end here. So Battlefield 2042 is the first one I think I'm going to give my first hour to. I will test the machine with a couple other games, but Battlefield 2042 is going to be the first game, so you'll be able to witness that in the video itself, which will be fine. But you're going to get a good laugh at the fact that, like I said, the phone was 4K, the camera was 1080p, and the laptop camera was 720p, to show you how far technology's come as well. If you get a chance, the stopsoldiersuicide.org link will be in the description. All I ask is you share the link. At very least, you don't even have to share my video or like it. You could dislike it as long as you share the link. They're not paying me. I'm not sponsored to do this. I did get a shirt, but that was because if you raise so much money, I guess they send you one. Or maybe if you just join the challenge, I'm not sure. It just showed up in the mail, so that was not a consolation prize for doing this video. This video will never make any money, besides if anybody could definitely share the link. Thanks for watching. Peace! Getting started. We're going to go ahead and use this case, which is the DIY mesh PC case, which was my old daily driver. And we're going to go ahead and use the Ryzen 3500. I will check that. I'm pretty sure it's over 4 gigs. I ripped the sticker so I couldn't see. There she is. Glory. Yes. Go ahead. Got our DD4. Love when they put the sticker right there. They do use, they do come with standard screws, the mounting bracket hookup. We're not going to use that, but we will use the bottom plate. I gotta get used to being over here like this. Alright, so if we can, there we go. Ignore my tools, just haven't got them out yet. I did lie in the previous video and say that I didn't say they were all DeWalt tools, because I do have a Ryobi miter saw, but
That's because at the time I did have a DeWalt miter saw. It broke, so I needed a replacement fast, and Ryobi is a pretty good brand. Can't complain. And DeWalt's not the tell-all. There's Milwaukee. There's plenty of other brands out there. Whatever works for you. Heck, even Harbor Freight tools work. All right, so now that we got that off, we want to make sure that we go ahead and get right in there. See what that is. All right. All right. So go ahead and put the processor in. Make sure that you put it in the right spot. All right. Let's see. There's an arrow there. I could go ahead and put that right on there. Match it up. Okay. All right, we're locked in. Go ahead and get our DDR4 RAM out. I wish I would have got faster RAM, but I just picked something up cheap. And as you can see. By the way, I love my Gamer's Nexus screwdriver set. I only used one, and I grabbed another set because I need to use it for the M.2, which I know they have a smaller one in there, but it just makes it easier for me to have it already, unlike this packaging. There we go. Alright, nothing special. As you can see, no heat sink, but it is black. So sorry. Opposite way, we're gonna go ahead and put that in like so. Alright. Nice. Alright, let's oh Lord. Almost. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and put this in here like this. I mean like this. Pay attention, young man. Alright, so it is dual channel though, which is good, but 2666 especially, this is the end of DDR4. I know it was a rookie mistake, but it's okay. We'll be okay. That little RAM deserved a chance like any other RAM. Alright, this is pre-pasted. May look a little janky. That was because I did have to test the parts when I got them because I didn't want anything to be DOA, and then I was SOL, if you know what I mean. Go ahead and use my Gamer's Nexus screwdriver, magnetic tip, which I will say a lot of people gave me hassle. A lot of people said would have been better going to Harbor Freight, but I enjoy them. I got a schematic, comes with a pouch, rolls up like a kit. It was a nice gift to get, so I always quarter turn opposite ways, but I like to get them all locked in place as much as I can. There we go. Now I am using the 1650 in this. The AMD 3000 does have its own integrated graphics, so I could have used that, but I'm not going to. Put that in there like that, and just plug it in backwards like that. All right. Hey, we're 3/4 of the way there, right? That is because, oh man, remember IOs back in the day? Dangerous. Whoosh, like a ninja star. Be careful on this, but it does work. You don't technically, I guess you don't need it, but it does help to keep things out of your PC. It makes it more aesthetically pleasing. All right, let's see. Gotta have those M.2 screws though, huh? Don't get caught without those. Now in this instance, I am gonna steal the 256 gigabyte M.2 SSD off the other build, only because I tested it on that board to make sure it worked. I didn't want to have to hook up a bunch of stuff, but I did have to test all the components. So, have no fear though, because we are going to be replacing it with a 240 gigabyte NVMe SSD. Pop that out really quick. This is why I needed a little screwdriver. This tiny little screw. I definitely don't want to lose. I'm sure I have a couple around, but now I did buy this M.2 off of eBay, and when I first put it in, I gotta admit, I just didn't seat it right, and I was freaking out because I couldn't see it and I needed it. So I tried the Windows installation, Windows 10 installation on a USB, and that didn't work at first. And then I'm glad it didn't, because I was like, well, first rule of thumb is I should have tried to reseat it. And so when I did reseat it, it was able to read it. And when it did read it, it had Windows 11 on it. And so I'm glad I didn't have to install Windows 10 just to install Windows 11 anyway, because I planned on doing that. All right, where is this? M.2. I know people are probably screaming, it's right there. How do you not? Aha. Here she is. There she blows. I think that's the one. Let's just not tighten it all the way before we check. Okay. All right. Go ahead and tighten that down. All right. Push that down. Don't. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and slap that screw in. This was the easy part, right? Now my case has already got the up here fans in it and already has the power supply in it. We're using a Corsair TX850M power supply unit and the up here fan system and the DIY PC white mesh PC case. I love DIY PC, but I decided to go with a different PC case, which is back behind me, and I had mixed reviews on it. It is a really nice case, but because I didn't get a controller hub with it, I was kind of disappointed, because that doesn't look right. Doesn't look right at all. But apparently that's the way it goes, so let's see. All right. Always install your I/O shield first, because that'll be a pain in the butt if you don't. Keep your screwdrivers handy as you get up for the next part of this. Go ahead and throw this in. But before we do that, we should really... Okay, let's get this side off really quick. Alright. Whoa. Alright. Let's not lose these screws. Put them over here for later. Now. It's my handy dandy bristle brush. Okay. I know this is a little dusty. Not too bad. I didn't really use this kit too much, but you never know. Helps to clean it up. Let's see. Yeah, it's not too bad. As you can see, the mesh thing peels off. Intake fans, we got 3 in front. We got 2 on top as exhaust fans. And then we have a back exhaust fan as well, I believe. Let's see. Oh, I might have lied. Intake. Yes, I'm sorry. 3 front intake, 2 top intake, and 1 back outtake. Plus the fan from the CPU cooler and the fan from the power supply unit, which will help. All of it help keep the system nice and cool. I will take the parts out, but I got a lot of this already set up and wired, so I don't really want to go ahead and do that. But I do want to use the case because it served me a lot of good for a lot of years. So I'm going to go ahead and slap this mamma jam in. Oh no! Never swipe a case like that with your GPU on. Why? Let's pray to the GPU guys it still works. That would be horrible if it doesn't. I've been holding on to that for a very long time. Anyways, we gotta move on with this build. Alright. Let's go ahead and dry fit. Make sure this little ATX case is going to be able to fit. Okay, so what the heck did I do here? Wow. Alright, oh, I'm really not paying attention, am I? Alright, here we go. Alright, so looking at one corner, should have been paying attention to the orientation of the whole thing here, huh? Alright, let's see, make sure we got it in here. Alright, give it a little push. Alright, definitely giving me a punk right there, but we should be able to get it in. There we go. Alright. Alright, let's make sure nothing's hooked, nothing's connected. A lot of stuff is going to look sloppy at first, but I promise you it won't take long. Alright. Go ahead and get this thing going. I'm going to screw it in. I don't know if I can look screws, but that's okay because I have a hole. I don't think so. Actually, normally PC cases are the only ones that come with them. I don't know if I pull them aside, but we will dig out our. And as you can see, we got plenty of screws to work with. So let's go ahead. The hard part is finding them. I do have them set different sizes, but I like to use some screws better than others. So I'm just going to start corner to corner, kind of get this square. To ensure that we can line all the other screws up. Alright. Okay, let's see here. Go ahead and get this in. Alright. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. There we go. Okay. Alright. Ooh. Okay, let's see. Let's see, some of these look the same, but they're not. So we got to make sure we get the right ones. Okay, not that one, but this one. They just got a little rim on it, and I just like to use them. I don't know why. And it doesn't matter if they're black or silver or powdered or silver, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So make sure you definitely put in all the screws for the standoffs to your motherboard, because if not, it could be fatal. That graphics card could be dead to rights at this point. I can't believe I did that. So excited! I don't like the screw. That's why some of them I just don't care for. That's definitely not the one. That's not. It looks like the one, but it's not. It's got a little rim on it. Alright, let's see. Alright. They just screw in so fast. I mean, I guess you could use any screw. It doesn't have to be that one. It's just the one I prefer. Use any one. Ooh, don't lose that little guy. These magnets are good on these screwdrivers, though, I gotta say. I've used Harbor Freight magnet screwdrivers. They're okay, but I do like the Gamer's Nexus. I was kind of glad to get this. Thanks, Steve and the crew were really cool. They put me onto a lot of stuff I never knew about. like not shaking your screws into the case. Oh boy. Alright, let's go ahead and put that in. I should have pushed the that's one I go on. I am blind, not literally, but should wear glasses, that's for sure. So that way I could see. There we go. All right. Oops. Now don't tighten too much. Yes, you could strip it, but you could also lock it in, and then you have to take the stand off and off with it, and that's not going to be good for you. So be wary of that, because you could damage your motherboard. I mean, you definitely want it secure, but remember, you're also securing everything else with its own screws, including your graphics card. So no need to too impatient or like too screw savvy. Is this not one? About when is that? Little guy wants to play. I don't know if I'm gonna get him in. I might leave him out. Let's see. Oh, I got it. Okay. We got it. There we go. There she is. There they are. And actually have a gender of their screws. Alright. Let's go. Alright, so let's go ahead and flip this up. We have a seat. Stuff out of the way. Messiest builder ever. I just toss it all over and clean it up after. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this at this point, but what we're going to do is some cable management. So bear with me in a minute so I can get this all hooked up. I've got a lot of this zip tied. I did use this case a couple times just for the power supply unit. And trying to dig out as much as I can here. Got the hub in there. Most of it's hooked up, but like I said, I had it already zip tied, so it should make for some easy work as far as getting the wires through and not having to worry too much about cable management. Oh, and I'm not the best cable management person, so don't expect miracles. I know there's some really good cable management people out there. What is this hooked on? Come on, little buddy. And it is the 8. We do need both. So, but I am glad that we can feed it through the top. One of the things about this case that I liked was even with the motherboard on, you could feed the 4 or 8 pin, which some cases come with that, and not a lot of DIY PC cases do. You know, it looks like I'm fiddling sticks. Come on. I can tell if it's out. I just need it out enough so that we can plug her in. Let's see if we can't get these fuse out of the way. We definitely don't want to lose that. Put this stuff over here. Next mess we need to overcome is this 24 pin. Ooh. It's too bad that it's got to go through that hole, but that's okay. 24 pins always so much easier. I really should have did the 8 pin beforehand, but it's all good. Alright. Got that one plugged in. And we'll go ahead and, like, most of this stuff is already going to be cued to where it needs to go, but like I want the HD audio over more. Just the HD audio, right? Yeah. I don't want it just like that, so. Okay, let's see. Push, push, push. And Where's my AC audio? It's right here. It's all tangled in this web of lies. Alright. There it is. Let's see. I like if I could just guess that. I don't want to go through the back because when you look at the back, it just looks like trash. But I guess 6 in one hand, half a dozen in another. It's gonna look like trash inside your case. Really quick because I can't seem to see it. I got that in there. And then got that USB somewhere in here. Definitely wouldn't do this normally like this, but this allows you to see what I'm doing. I'm gonna shoot for this USB right here for now. Alright, I'll stick back up real quick. As you can see the side of it, let me just throw some more things together and then you'll be able to see me put in the graphics card. Some other things. Here we'll feed the USB 3.0 cable through. Front panel connectors are right here. To the side. So, alright, let's see. Controller, unfortunately, just going to get tucked back in. At least try to clean that up a little bit. Let's see. Alright, the hub pen gauge. Now, PC plug. I need to plug. So I'm plugging in the backhand because it takes more lights. That came with the case. I decided to keep it because it was, I guess technically it's an LED fan or an RGB fan, but it doesn't really, it only has one color, so I'm going to call it an LED fan for now, or, you know, one color fan. But let's make sure everything else should be good to go with the hub. And you can plug the up here hub to your motherboard's 5-volt, I believe, connector. You gotta check the manual because everyone's different, because some go to the 12-volt. This is a 3-pin. I'm pretty sure it is the 5-volt. But for this instance, no lie, shoving it in there. And believe it or not, it's a lot easier to get it all out like that. Now remember, the rest of the box is all cable managed, but alright, let's see. So for the last of this video, I'll take these off. Get it right in here so you can kind of see the rest of this. Oh, you know what I just realized? Wow. Really? Huh. Oh, well, that's interesting. So we're going to put the USB 3.0 in a different spot. I was getting nervous. I was like, what? This doesn't have 3.0? Kind of thought it did, considering. Okay, this is going to be very difficult. Because we want to get them plugged in kind of the same way. There we go. Alright, so try to hold it and plug it in. Pray for the best. This is why you kind of do everything. That's why I should have plugged it in before, but we're almost there, so maybe not. Okay. Proving to be difficult, this one. Right, here we go. Take 2. I'm pretty sure the sides of the 8-pin are kind of just moshed to a point where they're just not going to click in together. But I really don't want to do it that way, but I will. If that works, actually. Being a punk, this doesn't want to plug in for me. I just can't get my fingers to do what it should. There we go. There's 1. There's 2. Make sure that's in. Yeah. Okay, now the graphics card. Oh Lord. The graphics card. Oh Lord. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. Just pray to baby Jesus. And it works. Alright, let's get that left in. Looks secure. Okay. I need a couple of screws. For now, I'm just gonna use the silver one, I think. Go ahead and use that. I do have the back for this because I had a 4080 in this, so I do have the back for it. Ooh. Let's do like this first. Secured. It actually needs to be in. Okay. All right. Definitely not the screw. I can guess what that one is. Alright. Now I do have the glass panel and the side panel for this. Let's go ahead and take that USB 3 panel out because now it can come underneath, which is pretty impressive. Okay, let's see. Now, you gotta be careful with these. Not to bend the pins. I should have put this on before, but okay, there we go. And of course, the star of the show, which is the front panel connectors. They're all the star of the show, aren't they? Alright, so I have these. Cool thing about the case is you don't really see the cable management on the bottom, but obviously I can clean this up before I do end up getting rid of it. Alright, push that in, make sure all of them are pushed in. Alright, pull that up. There she is in all her glory. Just keep spinning it around. This is how you definitely get static electricity, but this is plastic. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and slap the rest of this together. I don't want you to see me sweat anymore is what I was going to say. We'll go ahead, slap it all together. We'll come back and we'll see what the final outcome looks like. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you disliked it, hit that dislike button. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. And we are so close to hitting our 30-hour gaming challenge. This was an easy build of course, because I mean it was already really kind of pretty much built. Definitely don't like that, so we'll tuck that in there like that. Hopefully it works. Alright, so let's push this trash bin of a cable management job down. How you do it, boys? Hold her down. Slide it in. This isn't actually how you should have to do it, but for today, oh my goodness, come on, buddy. Set. Let's see. Once I get a hold of her, I think it'll be okay. Geez, what is the issue? I'm sorry. I think something like this. Let's see. Suffocation of breathing. Oh my goodness. You're really starting to be something else. What is the issue? Why aren't you fitting? There's nothing there that you're caught on, so I'm not sure what the issue is. There it goes. Yeah, only after my one screw, I think. Bell. We'll get it. There's one. I just need the other screw. Ha! A little trusty. Oh, jeez. Alright, here we go. So we're getting into the first game, Battlefield 2042. Just a heads up, I'm horrible at this game. This was just part of the 30-hour gaming challenge brought to you by Stopsoldier Suicide. But let me tell you, this little PC, that's good. The R5 4500, as expected, is running pretty good, over 4 gigs. Definitely holding its own. You will see in the other gaming video parts here that I did use MSI Afterburner, but for some reason Battlefield wouldn't let me show the graphs for some reason, because I probably don't know what I'm doing or whatever. But as you can see from the gameplay, it's not stuttering. I did get a kill before getting killed myself. And I really instantly got hooked back into this game because I bought this game a few years ago, and I do remember when it first came out, it was really fun. But then I drifted off into a bunch of RPGs and stuff like that, and then just the challenge made me come back to this game really to test to see how well this PC would hold up in 2024 gaming, and also to be reminded of, I mean, how intense Battlefield is, as well as how much fun it is. Frustrating if you're like a horrible gamer like me and you just wanna get in, and then you shoot like this. All in all, really good. All the games were tested at 1440p. They were around an average of 60 FPS. You will have to probably tweak some games more than others. Like, I thought I was gonna have to tweak this game, but it ran well. Where if I had the schematic, I might have to tweak it a little to make sure it's hitting 60 FPS, even if that's at low. Most of these games are running low or medium low. It's all going to depend on the games you're using. From the build, the B roll, aka the F roll, it didn't turn out bad. I definitely got to tweak my skills a little more and ensure that I'm able to see that the PC while I'm working on it is in focus and not my big veiny forehead. So I apologize to anybody, and if you made it this far, please go ahead and give yourself a round of applause. I've been doing PC gaming for a few years now, as well as building PCs. I mean, I was building PCs before I even knew like the parts aren't that interchangeable. Like purchasing Asus pre-built that had an A4 6600 or something like that, and then going out and buying another motherboard, which was an Asus, and assuming that they all work together. And obviously, at this point, I know if I would pick up an Intel board and not another AMD board around the same gen, that it definitely wouldn't have worked. And then I just ran with it. I got totally engulfed in building PCs and working on tech. And I gotta say, I haven't regretted a moment. I've learned a lot, met a lot of good people. Next up, Cyberpunk. This game's been through the ringer with so many gamers and YouTubers. But it's still pretty intensive, high graphical game. You can see right now we're pushing like old console FPS. I'm going to admit that the GTX 1650 is the villain in this. It's just such a bottle cap, and I kind of figured it would be, but I was surprised that the R5 4500 held up as well as it did. Obviously, it's hitting close to 3/4 of its actual power it has, but it is Cyberpunk, and it's still making the 1650 look like it needs to be a 1660 Super or something just a little bit more powerful in there. If it was the AMD side, maybe a 6600 XT, but all in all, it's holding up. The RAM isn't the best. Obviously, I picked up 2666 megahertz compared to 3200 megahertz or 3600 megahertz, but I was really just trying to pick up something quick, something cheap. I was trying to keep it under a certain price point, and I was able to achieve that. After this video, I'm going to be dropping an Athlon 3000G that I was able to get to work on an A520 motherboard. I was definitely not expecting that to happen, and I don't want to give too much away on that video, but definitely stay tuned for that one. At this point of the game, I was really just trying to see how much chaos I can cause in a short amount of time. I was trying to capture the aspects of having the police on me, as well as driving through the city, shooting, getting a bunch of people all together to kind of bog down the game a little bit, because it's easy to kind of run through if nothing's going on, but it's a lot harder the more things are going on. Traffic, people, you got police. The more moving parts, the harder it's going to have to run. And this course 1650 needs a bottle of water and a timeout if you ask me. But for under $100, I can't complain about the GPU. I mean, this setup was definitely cheaper than buying a console, and I'm able to hit 1440p. It may not be 4K gaming yet, but with a couple of upgrades here and there, you know, the RAM, the GPU, and the processor probably, you'd probably be able to achieve it. And it also depends on the game, because I'm sure that Minesweep could definitely hit those 4K numbers over 60 FPS, as well as a lot of other games. There's so many options these days in games to tweak it to get it to its full capacity. And you also want to make sure you have a 4K monitor, because it's really not going to matter if you don't have the monitor to support the tower, which I think a lot of years people have struggled with, especially with consoles. And PC, if you don't have the correct monitor and refresh rate, the hardware may have its own issues because of that. We're almost at the end of Cyberpunk, but I definitely caused a bit of chaos and had a little bit of fun doing it. This did struggle to hit over 60, but again, a little bit of tweaking, you'll definitely be able to get it down. If you drop it to low right off the bat and maybe dial back a few of the settings, you're going to hit over that 60 FPS mark. But running at 45, it's still running really well.
Deal with that checkpoint.
We're at Sniper Elite 4. This game, another fun game to play, especially if you're into gore or you really want to see what happens if somebody shoots you with a sniper bullet, depending on where you hit. Few people I've talked to that played this game thought it was a little over the top. I myself think it's pretty interesting, especially when we can, be a soldier and a sniper soldier, the amount of options it gives you, and the fact that it shows you where that bullet's hitting. If you're able to use your breath correctly and you hit it just right. In the past, they've had the same effects, but I do like Sniper Elite. I play this game up until I get to a point where I can't get any farther in it, and then I shut it off and forget about it months at a time. Unfortunately, I am an RPG guy, but sometimes if I get to a point or another game catches my eye, I will play that instead. Kind of like Harry Potter, and went through that and then jumped right over to Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora. And then someday I'll probably go back to Harry Potter. Someday I'll probably come back to all these games. But it is a fun game to play, especially if you're not into mass shooting or mass player online games. But this is more of still a shooter game. Still got to be pretty accurate with your shots. They don't give you that typical I'll shoot you once and you die type of gaming. The AI is smarter than I've seen, or NPC players are smarter than I've seen in the past. Still not the brightest bulbs, but they do give you a run for your money, especially if you play anything other than easy. I've only played normal, so I'm sure it gets harder as you go up. This game did struggle to hit 60, but as you're about to see, like I said, you go in, you kind of go over and change the display a little. In this case, I think I just went to low. I didn't really dial anything else back. And abracadabra, a little PC magic, and a little lag. But there you go, there's your 60 FPS. Again, I mean, it all depends on what you're looking to do. I was able to stream Battlefields live with OSB and record on the PC. I was live gaming on Facebook to give that first hour for the challenge, and it did well. It didn't lag. I did check to see how long it took for the stream to go from the PC to the phone, and it was around the same time I've ever experienced really streaming. I've never had like the best of the best setup, so it's always been, maybe a 10-20 second delay, but not really bad, and definitely not lagging on the phone, which is what I'm happy with, because I've experienced with some builds that they're just not there, and your gameplay as well as the stream just looks stuttering or lagging or just not moving at all, almost like a still shot. I have a couple previous videos that show that, where I tried to stream or just record a game and without a capture card, just using the PC, and it was a big struggle. This game went up and down, obviously 60 to 45, but all in all, if you're a good shooter and the graphics don't look too bad, that water could be more convincing. But again, it all depends. 1080p gaming, this is going to be a perfect setup. If you're just starting out and you kind of want to get in at the entry floor, this is going to be the way to go. Plenty of upgrade room, like I said many a times. The power supply alone is a Corsair 850, so it definitely should be able to handle. I was running a 4080, a RTX 4080 Founders Edition on it, and didn't have an issue. Along with 5 terabytes of storage, 32 gigs of RAM, and the RGB kit. Not that any of that is a big power draw, but I know in the beginning when the RTX 4000 series came out, a lot of the higher end cards, people were having power surges and it was taking more, and it didn't really flex too much or cause any issues with my PC. I just kind of wanted to upgrade to 1000 watt finally, and I just basically upgraded my system to DDR5, which is motherboard, CPU, and the RAM, but kind of kept the same setup as my DDR4. Like I said in the beginning, I started with AMD, then I jumped over to Intel, and I ended Intel with 10th generation, 10900K with a 3080, and jumped back over to AMD just because price to performance, I could get a little bit more for rendering videos and recording and streaming than I could with Intel. I have no qualms with Intel or AMD. I'm not a red guy or a blue guy. I'm not a green guy or a red guy either. NVIDIA and AMD cards have been great, and let's not forget blue is in it now with the ARC. So at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, what are the needs you have for the computer? Is it just strictly gaming? Is it strictly gaming 1080p? Do you want to game stream and record 1080p, 2K, 4K? Get a lot of questions on like, what's the best streaming setup? What's the best gaming setup? Is this going to be able to do this or that? And I always have to say, what are you looking to do with it? Are you looking to just do gaming? Are you doing gaming streaming? Are you going to be doing schoolwork, coding, gaming, streaming? Are you going to have it a LAN? Are you hooking up multiple computers? Cloud, server? There's just so many questions behind what you want to do with it. And I know that a lot of people that come from console to PC, or that haven't been in PC gaming in a long time, like people who've come back from after 10, 12 years maybe. And it's not that it's different. It may be a little easier compared to the PO-TAT-O days and the ADA days. And let's be honest, M.2 storage is great. Takes up less room. No more SATA cables if you don't want them, or no more SATA power cables if you have a fully modular PC power supply unit. And just the freedom of being able to swap so fast. I myself still use I have a hard drive, I have a couple of SSDs, and I have a couple of M.2 NVMe's that one runs for the OS and the rest is basically just suitcase storage, I call it. And I try and have at least the stuff I know I can't get back in multiple places in case of a crash, even though there's much easier ways of doing that. That's just the lazy way I do it. I really did like this game a lot. Super easy, like I said, pretty graphic, pretty gory. If that bothers you, I apologize, but doesn't bother me, and I don't think it bothers a lot of other people, but it is really fun to just get in and start just gaming with little ease. Coming from console years ago, I don't knock console. They definitely, buying a PC, putting it together, and trying to get the same kind of specs that you're going to get from a tweaked up console is going to be impossible for the price point. So believe me when I say don't knock console, especially if you want to get like 4K gaming, you're used to console, and you don't want to spend like $5,000 to kind of get the same effect, or $3,000, or depending on who you talk to, what group you're in, and what they tell you. Because the bottom line, I've seen a lot of people in a lot of groups using hardware that a lot of people would think is way outdated in that. You have to understand, a lot of PCs, unless you need the best of the best of the best, or the newest of the new, a lot of optiplexes have been turned over into gaming PCs, and they work. Especially if you just want to get in, and it may not be something you really want to do once you get into it. I'd hate to spend $3-4 on a custom built computer with the peripherals and the monitor to find out I don't really like this. And I think a lot of people get scared too, because they think keyboard and mouse, and keyboard and mouse is the way to go. I'm not gonna lie. Definitely, my daughter plays on the computer, and I've not trained her, but I've really pushed into her to try keyboard and mouse instead of controller. I unfortunately have been using PC since Tandy, and been using controllers since Logitech, or Mad Catz maybe, probably before that, to play on PC as well as play on console. So I do still use a controller. I use an Xbox Elite controller. It's wireless, it works. Sometimes I'll use keyboard and mouse, but I am really horrible, and it looks like my fingers are all twisted up the way I play. So I've seen a lot of people like crush people with controller, and in multiplayer games where you're like Fortnite or Call of Duty, Battlefield, Apex Legends, whatever it is, keyboard and mouse is definitely going to be a quicker way to go. But again, I'm an RPG guy, so I don't really need to be too fast according to what I'm looking for. That being said, I hope that everybody at least once in their life experiences playing games on PC, not having to pay a monthly or yearly charge to go online, being able to play games that were previous console games, that you can use emulators, while watching YouTube, talk to your buddies online, face to face, and play games, stream. You could do it all at once if you're really that good and got enough monitors. And just the freedom of being able to not have to go out and spend a lot of money every year or every few years. A lot of times you're only going to have to maybe upgrade your graphics card depending on the route you went. And it's still going to be cheaper than going out and buying a whole new console, plus the monthly charges or yearly charges, plus the games you're going to have to buy if your games don't carry over or they don't go back and allow you to play the older games. PC allows you to do that, but that also comes with having to know at least a little bit enough to troubleshoot if you come into issues, keeping an eye on your temps and ensuring you buy the correct parts and they're set up quick. I don't know, not a lot of downside, and I hate to say it's probably because I played computers my whole life and tinkered with them, but I also had consoles and they both have a place, and as long as at the end of the day you're having fun, I don't care if it's a mobile phone, if it's a PC, it's a Raspberry Pi, a laptop, tablet, console, heck, it might be a Nokia. As long as you're having fun and it's keeping you happy, I guess it doesn't matter. And you could also have the best graphics in the world and be like me and still be garbage at most shooting games that are multiplayer. And instead you just play cat games like Stray, where you're on the mean streets running against the ticks, trying to make new friends with robots and other weird stuff in Dead City. This was the game I definitely had to dial back only to see if I could hit over 60. I'm pretty sure it's in the video that it shows you that I do that. This was a fun game. I'm pretty sure I beat it once and then I went through from the beginning again and forgot that it's not just fun, but it's pretty not that it's difficult, but you definitely got to make some decisions on where to go, how to do it. I do like the fact they don't let you have the I don't like that the cat couldn't get hurt. I'm glad they don't do that. They didn't, like, I went up to the fan, it wouldn't let you go through. I like the fact that they don't allow the animal to get injured like that on the game. I know that sounds silly in 2024, but I was really like, I really hope this poor little cat doesn't get hurt. But I did test it anyway just to see, and it didn't, so I appreciate that. All jokes aside, all talks aside, thanks for watching the video. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I mix it up a little with PC builds, and I've been adding more gameplay just to fill the voids or to just mix it up a little. If you got any questions or comments, throw them down below. Again, this video, I only want to see the link below for the Stopsoldier suicide get shared. It doesn't matter if you like the video. If you want to dislike it, go ahead, but please share the link just to get the word across, or just to open up people's eyes. There's like myself that didn't realize how much of a epidemic this could be as far as our men and women that are enlisted and veterans. And I feel like, if anything, if I could even just share a link or donate money to say thank you for my freedom, donate my time maybe if I feel like I'm capable of being able to help people or I can relate. The suicide affects everyone around that person. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, peace!